We have an interconference affair lined up for you today as the San Antonio Spurs come in for this one. This is 2K Sports bringing you the NBA. I'm Kevin Harlan calling the action with my broadcast partners Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Our starting lineups, we'll look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. And guys, what we're going to be looking for in this one from Tim Duncan.
And you know, what we see him putting the majority of his work is in the rebound battle. Consistent physical effort on the glass. He is tough to box out.
And one other thing about him that you shouldn't fail to appreciate is the presence and impact he has defensively. He can lock you up and wear you down, and that effect really carries over to the rest of the guys.
Rose kicks to Boozer. Nice D from Boris Diaw.
Everybody regards Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau as a defensive mastermind, and the numbers back it up again. The Bulls were near the top in every major defensive category, protected the paint, limited fast breaks, and made sure to challenge any shot that went up.
Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
He communicated to his players that when taking on Chicago, they have to be as physical as possible to match the intensity the Bulls bring. He said they have no problem banging bodies inside, and we shouldn't be afraid to respond. We can't be intimidated by them, and I want us to go right at them. Sounds like we'll have a physical game on our hands, guys.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Green. Some solid defense from Butler. And the Bulls, Steve, fifth in defensive efficiency last season.
And Thibodeau, knowing him, he's probably unhappy with that ranking. This team is so disciplined and hardworking. They always have a chance to be the best defense in the league.
Leonard, no luck. Back to Parker. Second chance shot. And it's Green. Miss it.
You gotta like the defense inside, really protecting the rim.
Challenging shots and making his presence felt around the rim, that's exactly what he can give you.
Conley. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
Noah once again had a really solid season, but his field goal percentage numbers dropped from where they had been the past few years. I think part of it was not having Derrick Rose on the floor, and then also he was hurt. Plantar fasciitis bothered him some. Not having Rose, I think, led to Noah forcing the issue a bit.
Rose attacking.
That's his first personal foul. Third team foul.
Knocks it loose.
Tried to use the pump fake there, but the defense didn't buy it.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. It's going to make you earn it from the line.
Both shots good from the stripe. Oh, and speaking of Noah, some dip into his finishing numbers. You wonder if his injuries played a part in that.
Yeah, Coach Thibodeau rode him pretty hard. Career high in minutes. Like second most per game among centers in the NBA last season. Remember, he had the foot injury during the playoffs, so he's always had some health issues, but he's battled through them.
Are you surprised that he's become the warrior that he's become in the NBA?
Not really, Kevin. He was a winner at Florida, a guy who loved to play. He's got a lot of passion for the game.
I'll tell you what, he can be really frustrating as a shooter. All you can do is grimace because you just can't find the range.
And they get it back. Out to Parker. It's stolen by Dunleavy. Fast break. Here comes Chicago. Back to Rose. And the foul call on Kawhi Leonard. That's his first foul.
And the next foul will put them over the limit and in the bonus.
That's you?
Chance to get some easy points at the line here, so it makes sense to be aggressive.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Splitter is checked in for Duncan. And it's Matt Bonner in for Boris Diaw.
Easy foul there.
No question about that one. You could hear the impact from where I am.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship anthem. He's got a nice stroke from long range, and he's not likely to pass up those.
Man, that was unreal. Mark it up. And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
Those are phenomenal things to watch. So these offense really come together immediately, threatening to run away with this game.
It's hard to imagine they'll be able to stay as hot as they've been so far, but if they can, watch out.
Patrick Mills, he's checked in for Tony Parker. Spurs trail by 10.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can really put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle squads for Chicago.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And they're getting out in transition, too, finding some easy points on the fast break.
And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Wear them down. Their guys played too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's a physical game, and so far the numbers show that they've got the edge on the glass.
Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Rose goes in, picked off in midair.
Very encouraging start to Leonard's career, Kevin. He's a tough defender, excellent rebounder, and his offensive game expanded pretty quickly his rookie season as well.
I expect his offense to continue growing, too. His huge hands help him in that regard, Steve. Great nose for the ball, high rate of steals, an expert at stripping it away. Now here's Rose. It is low, and it's being called a kickball. 56 seconds left to play here in the first. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. He just basically walked out of bounds.
And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Chicago on defense. 11-point game.
Boy, I tell you what, the complexion of this game would be completely different if he shot the ball anything like he's capable of.
44 seconds left in the first quarter of the game.
His touch has disappeared in this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Chicago leading by 11. Left side Rose puts the lead pass in front of him. That's good.
I don't know what's happening to their defense. They don't have any effort, any purpose.
And it's really costing them. I mean, the last 5 baskets at that end have been on very easy looks.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find some, you're right. And that one's good. There's 21 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Rose has got 14 points.
Well, their plan of attack has been pretty clear to see. Get the ball inside, just take it strong to the hoop, be dominant in the lane.
Well, the defense has been very slow to adjust. I mean, that's 10 straight points now inside.
Rips down the breakaway slam.
They built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. It's the Bulls up by 15 from the United Center in Chicago. Back in a moment. Well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. And the Bulls guys have been rolling right along, haven't they?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. Diallo and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. Mills out there with Ginobili. And it's Bellinelli at the 3 side. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
There's no doubting, guys, that point guard Derrick Rose is the toast of his hometown of Chicago. But Rose has never been the type to court that kind of attention, preferring to keep his head down. He said, quote, "My whole life, I was always the one everyone was talking about. I've never really wanted the attention, but it has always been there. And the better I play, the more attention I get. But I hate attention. It's weird. I'm in a bind." Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, isn't he? Thank you, Doris.
Well, I tell you, the Bulls showed how resilient they could be without Derrick Rose last season. They played competitive basketball, but up against the Western Conference, they just didn't quite have the same punch. Got beat up pretty good out west.
Now here's Rose, the fast break opportunity. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack. Lays it in off the breakaway. Ginobili's got his first points in this one. And back to the Bulls against the West. Not sure what exactly their shortcomings were, but in the end, Steve, they were only able to win 11 games out of the 30 they played out of conference.
You know, the Bulls were a team that could win games on grit and toughness, but the West was a lot more talented last year than the East. And so some nights Chicago just kind of ran into reality, and they didn't have enough talent to deal with some of those Western teams.
Outside Rose. Up to Boozer. From 10 feet out. Duncan with the block. Mills with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Ginobili left side. And Boozer with the block. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will return possession. Tony Parker's checked in for San Antonio. So Greg Popovich going to take a timeout right here and talk to his team. The Spurs making a switch here. Leonard's checked in. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That is his first foul of the game.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that trip.
Ginobili kicks to Leonard. Pocket 6. Stolen by Boozer.
Boy, his reaction time to that pass was so quick. Good work defensively. Boy, they are just destroying them in the paint.
You could say that again, Steve. The defenders just aren't aggressive enough down low. Boozer had his name floating around at the trade deadline last season, guys. There were a number of teams that were very interested in having his physicality and scoring ability down low.
Unleaded kicks to Rose. No luck. Good D by Parker.
They could end every possession with that shot. They'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup.
Look like Leonte Jerome. That's me. Leonte Jerome Badger. That's me. Look. Looking like Leonte Jerome.
Ginobili outside. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. And you wonder why Boozer's name would be floated in trade rumors.
Big, that is big, bro.
I like them white girls, don't you?
I mean, one of the top rebounding power forwards in the game can score inside and outside.
Well, I think, Kevin, the teams are becoming more and more cap conscious with the new collective bargaining agreement. Boozer is a very highly paid player, so even though he's productive, I think some people are going to look at that contract and maybe shy away from it.
The kick out to Rose. Back to Butler. And there's the call on Ginobili. That's his first foul. Spurs on defense. They trail by 14. And there's the call on Ginobili. That's foul number 2 for him.
Boy, that's his second foul. He does not want to pick up number 3 here. That'll mess your game up for sure.
Rose kicks to Boozer. Back to Rose. 6 on the shot clock. Outside Butler. No good off the front iron.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what.
Oh, ridiculous. Pour it down that time.
Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how a brilliant throwdown.
Yeah, just exerting his authority out there.
Parker with the steal. And here's the fast break. Leonard the pass to Parker. Back to Leonard. Ginobili dishes to Parker. Into Tim Duncan. And stolen by Butler. Here's Rose. And the rejection by Diallo.
Oh, so fucked up right here. That shit was fucked up. Right here.
You paused. And he paused.
I did. This shit was so fucked up right here. That's the game I'm talking about. I thought this whole leg was broke. I'm telling you, I zero step.
Duncan against Noah. Parker outside. Pass to Diallo. He kicks to Leonard. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Shot clock at 6. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. No good from Duncan. The Bulls leading by 12.
Guys, you go back to the shortened season a year before last, and the Spurs were the best team on the road. But last year, they weren't nearly as dominant on the road. Still solid when leaving San Antonio, but far from the level they played at a couple of seasons ago.
A shot by Parker. Cannot hit. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Unleaded kicks to Boozer. Flushes it down to finish the break.
Great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, it sure was. He made a beeline for the bucket as soon as they got the ball. Right away, straight to the rim.
And for the Spurs on the road last season, they would still win 23 games in hostile territory. While that is more than the 22, Steve, they won in the shortened season, they actually lost a fair amount more as well.
Well, for the Spurs, Kevin, I think they did what they needed to do. You know, the Spurs manage the regular season. They know when to turn it on and when they can maybe relax a little bit. The big thing is they just want to stay near 500 on the road, protect their home court, and be healthy going into the playoffs, and that puts them in a good position.
Their free throw attempts have really fallen off here in the second quarter. Not as aggressive.
Yeah, if they want to avoid going into the half of this deficit, they need to stop settling for these long jump shots and attack the rim.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Splitter comes in for Tim Duncan. And it's Matt Bonner in for Boris Diaw. The Bulls have hit all 4 of their chances so far in this one. And the first one at the line is good. And the Spurs making a change here. So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. Spurs trail by 16. Parker passes to Leonard. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Leonard's got 7. Here's Butler. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but you know anything can happen. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Yeah, the magic touch with the ball. He just made great decisions, piling up the assists there in the first half. Really doing a nice job for his teammates.
You know, it isn't a very common occurrence, Steve. Typically, he's more likely to be on the receiving end of the pass, but so far, it's been the other way around here.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So for Chicago right now, up front, Boozer and Noah. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the back, and it's Dunleavy in at the small forward position. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That's it for him. He's fouled out of the game. DJ Augustine's checked in for Derrick Rose. Leonard kicks to Parker. Augustine with the steal. He passes it to Dunleavy. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's foul number 2 for him. So it's Chicago now. They lead by 14. And Dunleavy gets it to go in. Dunleavy's got 10 points in the game.
Now there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
And Tony Parker really was more of a scoring point guard than a passing one early in his career, but his assist numbers have gone up. Greg Popovich, throughout Parker's career, has been on him to distribute and to become more of a true point guard. And I think he has found that balance over the last couple seasons.
Nothing but money for him to start the half. He made all 3 of their shot attempts.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. Tony Parker just now entering his 30s. He's still got plenty of basketball, though, ahead of him.
Yeah, he started early, 19 years old, I think, when he came into the league, Kevin. So he's a guy that grew up under the direction and firm hand and sometimes hard hand of Greg Popovich. And now is thriving in an environment that's been championship caliber in every way.
The kick outside to Butler. Augustine up top. Rebound, San Antonio. Guys, there's still time for them to make a run.
But the margin of error is hissing.
Well, yeah, there's not much margin at all, Clark. They can't afford to waste any more possessions.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
I think the game plan needs to change here, guys, if they're going to get out of the hole, because he is not helping their offense.
And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin, and desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Leonard kicks to Green. There's the dish to Duncan.
Well, I think this is one of the more amazing stats in sports when you think about it. No matter the season or the roster, the Spurs just seem to find ways to win 50 games. They've done it 14 straight seasons now, which is off the charts. Well, as far as the league's big men go, he's one of the very best at the foul line.
Augustine dishes to Boozer. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
Nice start to the second half. Just one miss in their first 5 attempts.
Clark, as you said, the Spurs last season hitting 50 wins for the 14th consecutive season. By the way, that's an NBA record. Second closest were the Lakers with 12 straight, Steve, from 79 to 91.
Yeah, 58 wins last season for San Antonio. Greg Popovich calls it corporate knowledge, just the consistency that comes with the experience of the group. They've been together so long, particularly that core, that I think it allows the Spurs to really kind of cruise at times during the regular season.
It's stolen by Duncan. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Splitters checked in for San Antonio. Mills comes in for Tony Parker. Chicago leading by 15. Augustine with it. Now Green defending. Boozer passes to Butler. Augustine. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
They are owning the lane right now. Every one of their last 10 points has come either at or near the rim.
Great looks in tight because they're finding lanes to the hoop whenever they want them.
Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. That drops.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but he still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul. And the Spurs with some changes. Now Bonner comes in for Boris Diaw. And Kawhi Leonard subbed in for Daniel Green.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
San Antonio calls timeout.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Hibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too.
San Antonio making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in. Leonard with the ball. Now guarded by Dunleavy. The basket, the bump, and the foul. Oh, what a play. Going back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago, it is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them, and Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
This is DeMille. Bonner. A three-pointer off the mark.
And the rebounding numbers don't actually tell the whole story. I mean, they're barely ahead in that category, but when they've needed them, they've gotten them. They've really battled hard.
It's their work on the glass, Steve, that's prevented any kind of momentum swing.
Spurs trail by 19. Passes it to Splitter. Mills, funded by Augustine. And Mills kicks to Ginobili. Again, the miss by the Spurs. Bulls have gotten nearly everything to drop this quarter. They're 7 of 8 from the floor since halftime. Augustine, no luck.
Some rugged defense there against one of the stronger finishers in the game.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half has carried right over into the second.
You know, they're taking care of business in the paint, too. Those are valuable points they've been getting down low. You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Plays it up and banks it in. Augustine's got 10 points.
And I like that move to the hoop. You use your speed, go around the bigger defender.
Kicks it to Leonard. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. They get the rebound. The Bulls leading by 21. And there's the call on Ginobili. That's his third foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. For Chicago, they have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here. And so Butler nails both of them. San Antonio's the pass to Bellinelli. Ginobili outside. Drills the three-pointer. 8 points for him. Now Augustine. He's got 10. Here's Boozer. The 3 quarters of play all in the books. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Bulls shooting the ball with incredible accuracy. 68% so far. On the floor for San Antonio, the guards, Parker and Bellinelli. Diaw and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. And it's Ginobili in at the small forward. And here comes Bellinelli leading the fast break. Goes back up. And it's Ginobili laying it in. Ginobili's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Spurs. The Bulls leading by 18. Heinrich outside. He dishes it to Augustine. Back to Heinrich. Here's Muhammad. Snell. Tries again. And the layup is good. And the Bulls lead by 20.
That's the finger roll. best move to pull off with the defense all over.
Duncan with the bucket.
And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today.
A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve.
Feeds it to Augustine. Takes the lead pass. Here's Gibson. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. It's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
I like the call. I thought the defense was moving there.
Yeah, I think he slid underneath. Good blocking call that time.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Splitters checked in for Duncan. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Green in for Bellinelli. Gibson. It's blocked by Diop. Muhammad dishes to Heinrich. And he uses the glass on the layup.
There it is again. That's where their points have been coming today, from the low post.
And even under pressure and tight, they've maintained their concentration and converted their opportunities.
Splitter misses.
Well defended, and he's not someone who responds well to that kind of defensive pressure.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
He doesn't get the second one.
Boris Diaw from France, really a unique player. I mean, he came into the league, guys, as more of a playmaking small forward. Now he plays at the power forward spot, and he's still much more of a passer than he is a scorer.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Nazr Mohammed. That's his first foul. Here's Leonard. Knocks down the 3 ball.
A little extra mojo going here, a little extra pep in their step, more hustle in this second half. They're doing a much better job in terms of second chance points.
And Clark, you mentioned Diaw's skill level, the biggest or most athletic guy, but, you know, Steve, he's still effective.
He's really a great basketball player. What I mean by that, just he knows angles, he knows how to use his body to create passes and shots for himself. And defensively, he's very effective, particularly guarding the post because of his strength.
Here's Leonard, and another basket for San Antonio. Chicago leading by 21. Augustine passes to Heinrich. The feed to Augustine. Rebound San Antonio. Green's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Lets it go from the wing. And it's San Antonio with another. For Chicago, they've gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. We're of 9. Spurs trail by 19. And a fast break now for the Spurs. And Augustine kicks to Muhammad. Shot is off. Nice D from Tiago Splitter. The Spurs have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. Green with the ball. He's picked up by Heinrich. Here's Leonard. And Diaw kicks to Splitter. Leonard kept alive. Fades back. But he stays with it. Left side, Leonard. And another shot. Muhammad pulls it in.
Not a good look at the hoop. They've got to do a better job offensively creating some space.
And that one's good. And the Bulls lead by 21.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Here's Leonard. Off the inbound pass. Kirk Heinrich with the rebound.
Oh, he's just launching from the three-point line right now because I don't like his shot selection at all.
Gibson covered by Parker. Off his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. And the foul called on Daniel Green. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
He just picked up his 4th personal foul, and now he's got some foul trouble hanging over his head, guys.
Pass to Augustine. 1:30 left here in the 4th quarter. Can't hit from in close. Heinrich against Leonard. And Diao kicks to Leonard. Uncovered. Augustine grabs the ball. Augustine's got his 3rd rebound on the night. He feeds it to Gibson. And good. Coming in on the assist by DJ Augustine.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
Agreed. I mean, you look at the points, I mean, they're getting a lot of baskets off of assists. The offense is really clicking here. Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look.
Leonard attacking. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
A rough shooting night for him, but I don't mind that shot. He had a good look at it.
And Heinrich gets it to go.
They certainly haven't let these fans down tonight. It's been a fun night to be in the building.
It has been. I mean, the atmosphere has been great, and no doubt that helped with the winning effort.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Offensive rebound. Pass to Leonard. Shot is no good. Stolen. Splitter kicks to Parker. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Nazr Mohammed. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Now off the inbound. Leonard, no luck.
I think he rushed that one, guys. The defense was out of position. He was wide open. Just couldn't take advantage.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris, this is